Once again, I wish I could say that it was an auspicious honor or pleasure to welcome the 45th President of the United States, but alas, it is not. Mr. President, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. It's great to be here, Jesse Dollemore, if that's your real name.
Listen,
I'm very excited.
I have one question that I want to get to first off. It's
Okay.
the burning question that my audience really wants to know. And that is, what the f*** is wrong with you?
Excuse me? Excuse me. That's very rude, Jesse. That's a rude question. You're almost like the black journalist a couple of weeks ago, the BLM, whatever that was, wherever I was with that nasty, nasty woman. Now you're becoming nasty, and that's not you. That's not you, because I'm a very nice guy. I would never say anything mean or derogatory about anybody.
Well, if you think that's rude, let's shift to topics very quickly and rapidly, as you like to do.
Right, of course. That's my specialty. Specialty. That's why I cover more than any other president in history. I've covered more than any other president has ever covered in the area of coverage.
As it relates to coverage. Well, listen, I watched, speaking of coverage, your hard-hitting interview with Elon Musk. And it seems
tough.
You're
that was
having...
like an interrogation. That was like an interrogation.
Yeah, it did seem like a real tough one. It seemed as though you were having technical difficulties yourself with the suffering succotash. Well, what was going on?
What? We sent out a clean version of that. I don't know if it was the iPhone that was made in China. Or it was something else, because, the guy, I have to tell you something. What is he, $86 billion? He can't send me a microphone. He can't send me a setup. You know what I'm talking about? Now I find out he did the same thing to Ron DeSanctimonious. So maybe Elon's a secret lefty, a radical leftist that I didn't know about. Because I'm wondering. The guy is not. He's not normal.
I would agree.
It's like he's never had a conversation before. You know what I mean? He barely spoke. Very strange.
I think that I agree a little bit that with his, over $100 billion that he's worth, you'd think he'd be able to send you like some kind of a pamphlet on how to sit up straight. Your posture was you look like...
Did you say I was talking like this? Because he didn't send me a microphone.
You were the human embodiment of an apostrophe, just hunched over.
Right, and I don't like that. Except when I'm golfing. I've got to do that to get the to line up the shot. But it went fantastic. We had over 6 trillion people listening from other stuff. People from other planets were listening from what Elon said, because he has one of those big dishes. And he said, sir, President Trump, sir, probably alien life was listening. And that's a lot. I don't think Kamala has that many people listening at her AI-generated, rallies. I have real rallies, by the way. I had 25,000 people. 25,000 people yesterday, but all of her people are AI generated because Chuck, the maintenance guy, tipped me off to the fact no one was at the airport. And Chuck has done some great investigative work as a maintenance person, because there was no reflection. In the engine of the jet engine, and they're very reflective. I mean, anybody who owns a jet, I own many jets, can see the reflection. I always look at myself when I come down the steps, and no reflection and no people. And that's just what they do in the movies. They do the AI generated people, like in a stadium scene. But I've probably spoken to more people than any person other than me. I mean, Jesus spoke to people, but he didn't speak to a lot of people. I spoke to a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people. If you took all the sermons on the Mount and lined them all up with Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln, not even close.
I don't have any idea how we got here, but you mentioned satellite dishes.
Satellites.
Satellites communicate to Earth through satellite dishes. And the only satellite dishes that I was able to perceive of during your Musk interview was covered by the sides of your hair, because your ears the only person with larger ears that I've seen is Marco Rubio, but you're some competition there with those satellite dishes.
I have very big masculine ears. This is why they were able to. First, I was able to hear the bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania. I could hear it with my very large, masculine, attractive ears. A lot of people say, "Wow, you've got very attractive ears and very big and very manly," and that's why they were able to deflect the bullet when it came by. Yes, very, very. They work out a lot. Very attractive.
Alpha.
Very attractive. Unlike Kamala's teeny tiny ears or Tim Watt's old man ears. I mean, how are these people the same age? They look like they're 25 years apart. It's unbelievable. Coach. This guy's a coach. What did he coach? Little League? Who cares?
I know you like dangerous territory, but going after Kamala's looks or Tim Walz's age seems maybe water you don't want to tread in, no?
Excuse me. Jesse, have you owned 2 beauty pageants? I don't think you have. Women love it when you criticize their looks. It makes them a better person. Then they know what to work on. Like the one from Venezuela who gained a little weight. I said, you could stand to lose a little weight, sweet cheeks. And she did. And she thanked me. She thanked me that I called her fat. Thanked me that I called her fat. Women like that. You know what else women like? They like when you say they're not smart. That means they work harder.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes from the master of how to deal with women.
I've had supermodels as wives. And girlfriends. So I think I know what I'm talking about. I think I know.
I won't. Who am I to argue with the great and mighty cult leader, Donald Trump?
Well, even Kellyanne has told me, tone it down. What the hell are you talking about? This is who I am. You know what I mean? I am what I am. I'm like Popeye.
Listen, when Skeletor, Kellyanne Conway gives advice, I think you should probably listen. That's some serious stuff.
Well, I don't think so. Her expiration date is passed. I'm not listening to anybody but myself from now on. I give myself the best advice. I really do.
Listen,
I really do.
I saw your rally yesterday in Asheville, North Carolina, the rally at which they made you pay in advance before you were able to have because you owe them so much money. And what was the routine with the Tic-Tacs? You're rattling around Tic-Tacs like a maniac. What are you doing?
Well, excuse me, because of Biden and his incredible inflation, because there's no other inflation, in the rest of the world, there's no inflation. So what are people doing? These companies, wonderful people, I know all these CEOs, they're calling me up saying, sir, the stuff they make, the tacky stuff they make the Tic-Tacs with has gone through the roof. So they've got to put, the big Tic-Tac, right? The big Tic-Tac, they said, we can't afford to put all the Tic-Tacs in, so we have to go with the little tiny Tic-Tacs, 5. We put 5 in. And that is inflation. And this is why this country's going down the tubes. This is why we are a third world nation. This is why there's murdering and killing and everything else in the streets. New York is literally on fire because of Tic-Tacs. Can you hear I can hear the police sirens right now.
Yeah, I know. Washington, D.C., you like to talk about it being a war zone.
Oh, can I say asshole? Is that allowed?
You could say whatever you'd like, Mr. President.
Shithole. It's a shithole. I tell you, they did you know it was literally a swamp? Did you know it was? I just found this out. That's why we're going to drain the swamp when I'm back in, and we will get full-size boxes of Tic-Tacs back on the shelves again. This is my number one priority. Day one, full-size Tic-Tacs.
Well, let me briefly summarize, because I have to let you go. I know you're a busy man.
No, I got nothing to do. I don't have a rally today.
Women love to be told they're fat.
Yes, they love that.
You definitely don't have dentures sloshing around inside your mouth.
These are my real teeth. It was a technical glitch that made me sound like I was slurring my words. I've never slurred my words before, and that'll never happen again.
And finally, it is Kamala Harris's fault that Tic-Tacs are packaged in small packaging. Is that correct?
Well, it's Biden. It's sleep. By the way, Biden has been robbed. They stole, Kamala and Tim Watts stole the presidency from him, and he is going to crash the DNC. He's going to crash the DNC and say, "Oh, I want my presidency back. I want my because I spent $100 million on fighting that guy, and now they switch it up. They do the switcheroo with the Indian and black lady who I didn't even know was black until a couple of weeks ago. So I think this has been very unfair, and I want my money back. I want my money back from Joe Biden and Kamala. I could probably sue Kamala on this.
You are an expert at fraud, so I guess I'll have to take your word for it.
That's right. No one knows fraud the way I know fraud.
That's right. Well, listen, again, like I said, I wish I could say it was an honor, but it is absolutely not.
Well, it was an honor. It's an honor for you because this will be your biggest viewed podcast, video, whatever the hell these things are. And I heard your numbers are up. And you know why? You know why your numbers are up? Me.
Oh,
me. People love to hear about me.
That's right.
True. They don't want to hear about it.
Well, listen, I think the audience could have something to say about that. If you out there would like to see this video be one of my #1 views, you could share this, absolutely, and you could pass along all of this wonderful advice from the former president on women and a host of other issues.
Yeah, and I would like to point something out. I had mentioned that she's not very smart. Kamala is not, she's not very smart. Did you know that she didn't pass her bar exam until the second time? Did you know that? Did you know that? If I had taken the bar exam, I probably would have passed it before I'd even taken it because I could do that because I'm a stable genius. But you know who else did it on the second time? Hillary Clinton. You know who else? Michelle Obama. Look it up. I checked the Google, which, by the way, the Google, going down the tubes, folks. If you need to search for something, do it this week because it's probably not going to be around next week.
You are a prognosticator of tech companies and their rise and fall. I mean, you own one yourself that seems to be flailing.
I do. It's doing very well. It's doing very well.
Very well. Yeah, fantastic. I see you're back on Twitter. That is one of the causes of your tanking stock price. What made that?
Well, no, excuse me. The tanking stock price is this horrible economy that is a dumpster fire because Kamala is now running, and supposedly with the fake polls, not the good polls. The good polls say I'm winning, but the fake polls are saying that she's winning, and that is why my stock is tanking because the entire stock market is going down the tubes. And I think you know that. Pretty much better than anybody.
Well, I'm going to have to let you go as much as you would love to ramble, not having anything to do.
I could just talk. You could go eat lunch and I could just go talk. And when you come back on, we could wrap up. That would be great.
Until next time, be genuine, everybody. Not you. We know you can't be genuine.
I'm very genuine. I invented genuineness
of one another.